fucking OBS make my voice sound like fucking Half-Life 2, god. It's crazy. To make a texture, it's not like that complicated, but it's tedious to put it in game. So the logic behind it is that the game use materials, and on each materials you have parameters, and for some reasons, depending the converting tool that you use for the model bins, there are some things that might not work. So let's say if you use the LSDs converter that you can find in the Forza Mods Discord, you might have troubles because all the materials are set as paint, and I found that it doesn't accept textures on it for some reason. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I'll just say that it won't work with it. So just for the sake of the video and for the showcase, I might do it with FTS. It's gonna be easier and the process gonna be like more straightforward. So what we'll see is like a mesh that have a texture that's used by a shader that's already like a material that already have a grill texture here. So in this model, I put the front intercooler, sorry, not the grill, with this texture that's not in game. And I've added a normal map to try to recreate a 3D look. It's not that good looking, but it's supported. And I've added a third texture that's the ambient occlusion. Kind of recreate, I think, the metalish look. I'm not sure of that, but we'll try to make the three of them and do it on like a random object that I'm gonna create right now. So let's just make a little plane. And the good thing with this kind of things is like when you do an object from the creator here, the mesh creator, it already like gives you UV editing, like the sorry, a UV on it. So whatever you do, like the UV is already done, and that's gonna be far easier for us to like just create something for the look. Make it not that good looking, but just like something that looks somehow, I don't know, logical, whatever. Just for the sake of the video, I'm not gonna like keep the thing anyway. So let's just do it like this, and let's extrude it like this, and I think that's gonna almost be it. Just like creating something just for the look right now. And this should work on any mesh that have a UV mapping, so if you don't know how to UV map, just go on the tutorial on YouTube to explain you that quickly. And yeah, this should do, and I think that here mapping is done there. Nah, it's not perfectly looking. I mean, we could, yeah, I can just like import a shader to it, and it's gonna be good looking after I just load the image in it. So here is, let's call it yeah, front stick plate, whatever. Just to have a shader on it. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Almost forgot how we do that. And for this purpose, I'm gonna just install a friend's texture, just like that. And for the normals and all of the stuff making, I'm just gonna like create a folder, but you have to like remember where it is. And we'll load it after in the website that I'm gonna show to like create the normal and the mapping. Let's just okay, like just like that, and call it diffuse. Let's say okay, so we're gonna call it diffuse, and then we're gonna go in this website. So when you go on Google, you just write normal online, and you come here and you have GitHub normal map online. Just click, and that's gonna be the website. So when the texture is created, you just click on this circle on the left and you load the texture that you just created. So for me, it's did I made it? No, it's in Forza. No, where is it? Yeah, here. Yashiro. Okay. Now that it's loaded, you have an example of how it looks. Just make it a plane, and that's normal that it's like distorted. I just want to like reduce the displacement. Create a slight displacement here. And the strength, no, we're gonna leave. I mean, this is like just for the sake of the look, but it's not really good looking, so that's just for the show, let's say. Anyway, let's say that's the normal that I'm gonna get, and it's gonna do the AO mapping right after when I do this. But right now, what I want is the normal map, so that's it in the middle, and I'm just gonna call it like the texture, so it's diffuse. So this is gonna be normal map. So the name is not important. You can put whatever you want. And once you do that, you go on download, and I'm gonna put it back where this was. Diffuse. So this is normal map, and save. And now it should be in the proper place. So go on the file, Forza. So it's here, and you can see that it's showing up. And now let's do the same for AO mapping. The map, like the name is not important because we're gonna still go inside the file and recall it. And AO map, and that's it. So now we did it, and we have, if we look on the texture, normal and AO mapping here. Now, okay, so for some reason it didn't like exported the AO mapping. Okay, so it's just a showcase. Let's go another word. AO mapping. So the settings this subjects download EG. Yeah, please. And now we go to it. It's here. Okay. So the website is this one, texturedmap.app. And it's not important where you do it, but there are some websites that do stuff better than others. So I know that like the AI one does a really good job for normal mapping, easy way. In an easier way. This one, like normal map online, I just want that was like here at first when I started modding, so that's why I use it. But you can use whatever you want the moment it gives a good look for you. So now we have the texture, we got the normal map, and we got the AO mapping. And we're gonna apply at least the texture to the model that I just did. And for that, you go here and you go on shading, shading, and here on image texture that we created. So to do that, it's very easy. Like when you have a shader that's done here, you do Shift A, and here you just write image, and it's gonna show you this. Click, left click, put the color on base color here. Here go open, go where your normal map is, your texture, and the AO mapping. Here, Yashiro, and mine is here. And now the texture is applied to this shader that's used by the plate. And I want it to be like really sticking to the outside, so it's gonna look a bit weird, but just for the sake of the video. And I'm gonna just load it here, so that's my part. Can I? No, you know what? I'm not gonna fit it to it, but like when you do an object, you can fit the stuff to the part. Or you know what? Maybe I'm gonna can probably just recreate it to have just like a squarish. Yeah, it's gonna look weird anyway. If I just keep it, so let's redo that. And now it's properly done because it's squarish. Okay, good. So here's the part, it's mapped, blah blah blah, all's good, yay. And just, yeah, make it just a bit smaller. Okay. Okay, so that's the part. It's mapped and it is on proper placement. Let's just make sure that we apply all transforms so that it doesn't glitch when we import it in FTS later. And the last thing that I'm gonna do, because I will try and I'm not sure, I think it's not gonna work, but maybe it will. I think it will. No, I think it will. Oh wait, did it work on the front? No, maybe not. Never mind. I'll try it anyway. So what I'm gonna do is just like copy the UV map to make it like it's gonna use all the parameters in game to have something that I wanted, which is the raindrops on it. And that's gonna be for another tutorial anyway. So yeah, that's the part, it's prepared. Ignore this UV map thing for now, we just want to like make the texture working in game for the tutorial. So that's my part, and I'm gonna just export it and make a another bin of it. So that's FBX, selected object, the scale, we don't care, we're gonna change it anyway inside the FTS editor. So that's gonna be wait, the name's not important. Tag selected, home, desktop, that's where I want it. And here it's exported. Now, don't open another one. Now we're gonna go in FTS and convert it. Choose Text Studio and this. So that's the exact same thing as I showed in the other tutorials. Must be creator. Go on source model. This is the FBX, and mine is this one. The shader library, I'm gonna take mine, but you need to take the base game one if you don't have a custom one. The PC, not camera, cars, library, materials. Next, and here is the part where we're gonna apply the textures to the material. And what I use is the regular grill background.ch1. And I'm using this one because it have already some parameters, but the most important one are the textures and sepals that are already working in game. So just for, yeah, I don't need these ones. The U and V tiling, sometime it works, sometime it don't. But I know that the mode intensity works. I'm gonna put it at 0.5. I think that this value works, yep. Don't touch that. And here is where we're gonna do stuff. And to create the texture for the game, we're gonna make a swatch bin of the texture that we have. And to do that, we're gonna do a little modification here. So we save it back, but this time what we're gonna do is save it as DDS. This is very important. If you don't do that, it's not gonna work. Don't ask me why, that's how it works in game. And what is very important is that in parameters here, you put BC7 linear DX1 plus DX11 plus, sorry. MIP maps, I don't know if it's really important. I just left here, and for the compression made it slow so that it compresses in the best way possible. But yeah, press OK. This one is done. We do that for all the textures. DDS, and this is not called AO mapping. This is called normal map. It's like that. DDS, save. When you did it the first time, the parameter is gonna remain the same for the file type, so just ignore it and save it. And for this third thing too, and now it's done. So when you go back here, you have diffuse DDS, normal map, and AO mapping. And these are the three ones, sorry, that we're gonna use to create the swatch bin. here. So we go in swatch bin editor and you hit create swatch bin. From here we can go here, copy this, Ctrl C, and here Ctrl V, and it goes back to the folder. We go diffuse, we open the DDS, and we go back to this folder. We can create a new file. We call it swatch bins to differentiate the textures and the swatch bin that we're just creating. And it's gonna be named already how it should be. We save, and here is gonna show it afterward. But it's not still in game, so this is like just for the showcase of what you have. And we do that for the two other ones. So normal map, go here, swatch bin, save, okay, beam, it's done. And last time, AR map, go here, hit save, okay, and now the three textures are prepared as swatch bins like we wanted here in the swatch bins folder. And this is the important part. There is a method to like reduce the size. I'm not gonna show it. I think that you just have to like rename the parts after the dot here by going in right click to it, get rename, and you just change the DS by swatch bin. But I never tried it, so I'm not gonna do it now, but I think that that's the way, and it reduces tremendously the size of the texture file. But I don't care because like this is just a showcase, sorry for now. So now that we have the swatch bins, we can add it to our vehicle. And for that, you're gonna have a vehicle. You're gonna go inside the extracted one. So you have the zip file and you need to extract that zip somewhere. Mine is here, that's where I work for each files that I do in game. And just to make sure, I'm gonna copy paste it from the game so that I don't have an older version, because every time I work on it, I modify stuff and the stuff is not saved once I don't do that. Row. Okay, my PC is tripping. Extract here, delete that here. Okay, so inside your vehicle, let me just copy this again. Inside your vehicle, you have all of the stuff, and textures are gonna be in textures. And the path of where you're putting things or your, let's say, own problem. Like you can do whatever you want. Don't add any folder because I'm not sure that the game's gonna load it, but if you want to like somehow know where you're putting things, if you have some folders that have a specific name that you can use. So let's say you're doing fabric stuff, you can put it in fabric. If you're doing other stuff, you can do it anywhere. Like you can even paste it here, it's gonna work. Yeah, that's like up to you. And for the video, I'm gonna just put it inside a folder just to show that it works. So I'm gonna go in damage because that's where I put the other ones. Here, so you copy paste these swatch bins there, and you have the other ones here too. And now is the part when you don't want to fuck things up because it's not gonna just work properly in game. But the path that you have in the vehicle, where you are adding them here in texture and samplers when you're making the model bin file, it needs to fit the one that's already shown. So here you have game double dot backslash, and it starts with media. It is very important that everything that's here up to textures remain exactly like this. You don't change to media PC, you don't change to your game, like your own file location. You just keep this thing. And I will say that even the FM next folder, you keep it because this is like something that can fuck up the whole location. And what you want to change is like this thing. So let's just delete this. We go here, we keep in cars because that's why it's gonna load the car. We put our zip. That's mine. So to change the 97, we go textures in damage, and inside the damage I'm gonna select the diffuse.swatchbin name and just put it after that. So let's go here and let's put this. So that's the link that I made. So it go inside the game. Media, don't question that. It goes inside cars, inside my car, and goes after that here. Yeah, here, and then it goes in textures. Textures, inside it goes into damage folder, and inside the damage folder you have diffuse.swatchbin. That's my texture. And you do that for the three textures. So here it's AO map and normal map. So to do that, you can just like copy paste this thing, put it here. And I'm gonna leave this one is base color alpha. That's the proper one. This one should be the normal map, normal underscore map dot swatch bin. So that's the name here. And then for the AO map, I'm gonna put this one. Just doing it quickly. Just like that. So these are my paths. Don't use them, because it's not gonna work properly for you if you don't do exactly the same thing in the same vehicle. I'm tripping, okay. And here, okay, so these are the three. So it goes inside my vehicle, it goes textures, in damage, all three are in the damage folder, and then for the base color alpha is like the main texture, so that's like the, I don't know, whatever you want. Normal map is the normal mapping, so the purplish that we did here, it's this one. The diffuse, that's it, that's the main texture, and the AO map is this one. And just replace every name from what swatch pane is gonna use. And once this is done, you finish the configuration, make sure that all the parts that you're making the model bin are selected. I am just creating lot 0 because the other one are unused, and what I'm doing is I'm putting the scale at the minimum to not have something extremely huge inside my vehicle. And then I can save the model bin, and I'm gonna add to the vehicle. I mean, I can add it right now, in fact. Let's go here, scene, exterior, and I'm gonna put it in bumper front for my car. But you can put it anywhere that you want. And as it's gonna be something that's gonna go on top of my bumper and I'm not replacing the bumper, I'm gonna make a tuning part to it. But I'm not gonna explain the steps here. I'm just gonna do it. That's the only thing that I know how to do in tuning. Don't ask me how it works. I'm gonna explain like just how I do it and what I do. Not like the whole process of making a tuning part properly. So just save here and it's saved. And now what I want is to edit it just to try to see if I can have the raindrops on the part. That's not like really related to this explanation of how to do things, but that's something I want to try here. So let's, is it small? Yeah, let's put it at 4. For the rest is like irrelevant, and just save it here, okay. And now it's done, okay. So that's gonna be for another tutorial, like what I do like here and why. I'm gonna explain this later. So now we should have our part inside our vehicle. It's here, Yashiro plate, and the last thing I'm gonna do before trying game is like export the vehicle again, and I'm gonna then add it and modify a last thing. Just like that. So we go here, paste it, not here, paste it inside the car, here, replace. And let's just, for the sake of the tryout, to load the vehicle to see if everything is okay. That the plate is not appearing, let's say, on the back. It's here. Very nice. Great success. Close it, and we go into the car bin. Open it, and what I'm gonna do is add it as a front bumper upgrade. And for that, what I need is like a bumper front. So that's how I did it, and it's this thing that I want to keep. Okay. Fuck. It's not. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Scene exterior. What's this thing? Here, and it's gonna be a shoe plate. Again, Toyota. I think that's. Let me see. So game media cars, scene exterior bumper front too. 39, 33, 100. So that's it. That's properly placed. 39, 33, 100. And this is in. I think that. See level. Which level is this? Level 0. Okay, yeah. That's the thing. This one, and here I'm gonna just apply this in rain, and let's pray it works. It should work. It should work. It should work. So that's not like necessary what I'm doing for making it working, but it is when you want to add a tuning part for your vehicle. And we're gonna load in game. Oh, wait. I think that I found why. Yeah, I found why. So this is the problem. So my path here, model path is improper. That's why it wasn't working. So model path. Because it's in scene and directly the model bin, and it's not in fact. It's in scene exterior bumper front Yashiro plate model bin. That's why. Because when you go here, it is in scene exterior bumper front. So yeah, the tuning part is proper. Let's save this and let's try again. And now we load it in game, and you see that it is raining indeed, and the plate is appearing in front. So everything is working properly. Yeah. Let's just add some rain for the picture so that I can check. Yeah, just like this. Okay. If it worked. No, it didn't. Okay, so that's what I want to see. For some reasons, I need to find another material that does it, but as you can see here, I have raindrops on my bumpers and stuff that are custom. Like the fender is custom, the hood is stock, and it is somehow properly done on all the parts, but for some reasons the front grille refused to have the raindrops working, but the setup is done exactly like the paint to make it working. So just so you know, when you're using the front grille texture, it doesn't show properly the any rain and stuff that you do because the material doesn't accept it. And for now, I don't know how to modify materials to accept all the different UVs that you can do. But yeah, like this was a pretty straightforward tutorial. Like it have some little things that you need to understand, and especially when I did like the last modification here on the tuning part. So to explain what I did exactly is that when you go in the carbon editor of your vehicle when it's done, so let's say you have all the texture converted as swatch bins, they are inside your vehicle in the proper place to be able to like get the path or the textures. You have the model bin that you created or that you're using for whatever reason. If it's a grill that you replace, you can just like keep the same name of the grill that you're replacing. If you need to add it for some reason, you can add it here. And the way to do it is identify where you want to add it to which part. So I choose to make it in front bumper because it was convenient for me, as I had already did that for the vehicle. So here is a little trick, like when I did the front bumper, I separated the front bumper, so it's like all the front, not this thing of the wing, but all the front here with the paint and all that you see behind it. So the front intercooler here and the oil cooler here with the tube are all another part that are front bumper too, but they're not like the front bumper. And to understand that, it's like the same as when you do it in Blender. So things are separated by what they are. So here I have a front bumper, so that's the front bumper I'm talking about. And I have the shadow here I'm gonna delete. So that's the front bumper. And behind it you have all the other stuff. So this is like the shadow that makes it so that you don't see through it, because if I remove it here, you can see like there are a lot of shit on my vehicle in the back. So I'm just like changing this thing. I have the grill and all the stuff, and all the other stuff that not the bumper here and this thing that we just created. All the other stuff here is like a second from bumper per se, like say in the logic, and it means that like this is one model bin and all the rest here in the back that I'm not gonna like properly select is another one. So these are two model bins, and the first is like replacing the base front bumper on my vehicle, so it's bumper front B model bin here. Okay, you get the shadow texture and the mesh that I'm not using, you get a car paint. So this is one mesh, and then the second mesh is this one, bumper from B2 model bin, and this one have all the other materials and are a separated mesh. So front bumper is the paint, and the front bumper B2 is like the rest. And the base one, so this one, is like set it up to be used on the vehicle as a tuning part. So that's why the upgrade ID here is with 100 in the end. And if you take, let's say, base vehicle one, so you see that it have two upgrade ID because it's used by two different tuning. But the stock one is ending with 30, and the 003 here is probably for level 3 tuning part, and don't ask me what it does because I have absolutely no idea, because I didn't master like the tuning section. As you can see, you have levels, IDs, body IDs, version. I think that's for nothing. I don't know what it is, but like levels are affecting the in-game tuning part. So let's say if you go and add a sport tuning bumper, it's gonna be like level 1 because it's not level 2, sorry, because the sport name is in level 2. The street is level 1, stock is level 0, and 3 is the race one. And I just kept like what was used. The ID is the part ID, the body ID is where it comes. So let's say you put it in on the stock vehicle and you don't want to replace something, that's where you put the body ID here and the ID there. Well, it's a little confusing and I'm not exactly sure what I'm talking about, but that's something that's a little deeper than my knowledge actually, that I actually have. And all you need to remember is when you want to add something on top of another one, you can do it by making the part that you're using as an upgrade ID here of the first number of your vehicle minus 3933, and after is 100 to specify that this is a tuning part. And if you're not sure what you're doing, just take any other piece, replace it, and you're done. And if you want to add to on top of what you already have, you need to like check how it works in game, because like here the A is the stock one, but all the rest B, D, E, you can just copy paste it and try to work around to see how it works. But what I would recommend is to add a part, just go on the Forza Mod Discord and ask for help here, because I won't be able to explain everything properly, to be honest, and I don't want to like mislead people on tutorials that are gonna be stupid. And this tutorial was just like to prepare the base parts, so this one, which I created just for the sake of the video to show you how it looks. Added a shader, added textures to it, and I just try out with the mapping, but this didn't work. But if you have a material like the paint that accept custom liveries, or it accept like the rain and other stuff, this is where you're gonna do like these little things from TC0 to TC4, and this are gonna like affect the UV of your vehicle. So they're all the same, but you can make different ones. The TC3 is the livery one, like I explained in another video, and I discovered that TC1 is used like for the rain and all the shit. TC2 is like for the ambient occlusion that you can create on each part, and TC0, TC4 is like another thing. I personally don't know what I do. But yeah, it was a lot to explain, barely anything. So I hope that it will be useful, that you'll be able to create the textures where you want. And if you don't, like I said before, and I'm gonna repeat it there, take your time and try to get help on the Forza Mod Discord, but don't come with nothing done. Try to do it one time, two times, three times, redoing it all over and over if you need it. Try to understand what you're doing. Like my explanation was like the minimal one, but the necessary one. It doesn't explain everything, like how the game works, like how it loads all the parts and how it loads the paths. But if you have something to remember is preparing properly a part is mandatory and very recommended to avoid any other problems afterward. So it is about making mappings, shading properly, UV mapping properly, exporting properly, using FTS the proper way. So when you're creating a model bin, to put the proper things inside. So like I used here for the material assignment, I took one material that have already the textures and samples set properly. If you don't, if you create new parameters with those, I can't guarantee that it's gonna work. That's why I'm using the grid one, because this one had already the three textures working. So it was the easiest way to like load it in the game. And afterward, when you're exporting, make sure that you have all the selected part needed here, because if you have only one, it's gonna select it by default. But if you have two or more, you have to like include all the objects, like it's called here, to be exported. Put it on lot 0, and for the global transform, it all depends if like when you export it as SBX here, you put the scale as 0.01, because actually the FTS version that we have is a little glitchy on some parts, and it scales everything 100 times bigger. So to counter that, you can just put the scale here at 0.01 if you want. If you don't want to do that, you just like in the material create, not material, sorry, the model bin creator, you just put the scale at 1 here, and it's gonna work as well as if you did it here by putting the scale 0.0 on in Blender. And when that's done, blah blah blah, or do the swatch bin thing, add it to the vehicle, blah blah blah. And in the end, for the carbon thing, that's like the extra step. It all depends of the logic of how you want to do things. This is how we do it. There are other methods, probably better, I don't know, but this is one that worked. And if you don't want to use this material, you can try with any others to see if it works in game, but try first to do it with my method. When it's working, do whatever you want after to try to make it your own, like the exact way you wanted it to be. That's like on you afterward. But yeah, I hope it was useful. Thanks for watching, and maybe we'll see you again in another tutorials that interest you. Goodbye. Okay, so while I was like searching for how stuff works after the video record, I hopped on to try like other materials, and it's so stupid, but I figured out that when you have a material there, like the copper CH1, when it's written CH1, you have textures already. So if you go to the model build creator here, material assignment, so let's say you want any material that you want to use with CH1, you can search here and try to find one that like fit what you want to do with it. The only thing is this method isn't like just straightforward, because let's say I want to apply an aluminum one, so you have U tiling, V tiling, this is perfect. If you go on copper, you don't have the U and V tiling right away, so you have to add it. And why you do that, it's to make sure that the texture that you put is not duplicated because of the size of the base texture that is used on the material. That's like the first thing. And the other thing, when you apply another material that already have textures and U and V tiling and everything, sometimes there are other parameters missing. Like here you have roughness shift, but usually you have something with normals, intensity. And this is very important like when you do, for example, the front intercooler with the grill material here, because here you got it, normal intensity is gonna take the texture that you were making. So this one is the one that I used on the video, and it's gonna increase the crease that is shown in the texture itself. And depending like how your texture is made and what look you want, you might go to like this parameter. If it's missing, you just add it. That's normal intensity, and it's a boolean. So let's say you want to remove it, no, a float, sorry. So I just remove it, sorry, and you want to add it, you just go here and you type normal, and you try to find like normal intensity. And I just forgot how it was written. Go here, yeah, just like that. And here you add it as a float. Float is to like add a number to it. If you go on boolean, it's gonna add the little tick like yes or no. But here we want to add a value. Integer could work, but it don't have any comma or nothing after the number that you add. So float is what you want to search. And here you go. You see that like it's added again, and I can put it back as 2. It decrements by 0.1 every time. Why I'm showing this, it's because like when you have a material, it's already using something. So here the swatch bin is in fact a radiator thing, but if we go to copper CH1 that I showed earlier, it's gonna use the copper texture that's embedded in the material, and it's gonna load it. So here we modify it so it's not showing it. But if I go to aluminum, for example, CH1, it's using like some textures that are used by the game, and this is like just a color, and it might be also another texture, not just a color, but something that adds a little like texture on the surface, not the texture itself, but let's say that you have scratches on aluminum, like you have some brushed aluminum and such things. So these textures are recreating that. So if you modify them and you want to keep the scratches, for example, of the aluminum, if it have one in game, just change the base color alpha for your texture and keep the normal that is used in the rough metal AO to add the reflection on the rough metal, and the normal to add the scratches, at least for the relief, like the, not the relief, the 3D look of a scratch on the surface. But this is where it's tricky, because let's say that like here I added a texture that's a modify one. Let me just go back to where it was, yet like this. So like here, let's say you have extrusion on all the letters of the Yashiro Zoku here. If you add on top of it scratches from a normal, and you add a rough metal AO to add reflection on this look, you will have scratches on top of this thing. So if you want to have the Yashiro Zoku or whatever you're using having a 3D look on your part, you can't use the same like normals and rough metal that the game uses, because it's not gonna like make the Yashiro Zoku here a 3D look. It's gonna just add scratches that comes from the base thing. So when you're modifying a material, make sure that you have all textures, normals, and rough metal, let's say if it's using rough metal or AO mapping on it, and that they fit exactly what you're looking for. Because if you don't do it, not only you will lose like all the parameters that are made logically to the material, but also you won't have the look that you want. So if I just add my texture here and I test the aluminum channel 1 to the little like it's not a sticker, but let's say it's like a front yeah, like a front sticker, whatever that we have here. The look of it is gonna be like this text here, but it's gonna have scratches on top of it, and this part that is recreating a 3D object, like in visually, like it's something that's on top of the surface. It's not gonna look good because it's not gonna be 3D, but the texture will look like, and the normals will just add a layer of something that's 3D on top of it. And if you add only like the things that come with your texture that we did in the normal creator, normal map creator, you will lose the properties of the material that you wanted to import. So here I tested on copper, and the copper is like copper color, like I mean obviously, and it reflects with a copper look. And because I've changed the texture, I don't have a copper look anymore. I don't have a copper reflection that the game can create with this material. I just have the plain texture that I've added. And that's the thing I am not aware how to properly do for now. Maybe it's on rough metal AO, I don't know, or something else, but adding an extra layer of reflection is something that doesn't work just by changing the texture that is already used in the vehicle. And if you want to do that, I think that you will have to like keep the at least rough metal AO from the base material, and you will have to add an extra layer of something of the color that you were like modifying here. So let's say that I fill this and I want this to be of a copper color. I will need to do something like that. Okay, it's not perfect. I don't know like what will be really the look in game, but I guess that if I want to have a copper look, I will need to like alter the texture. Unless I find a way to like add an extra layer of anything on the material to add a reflection of the color that was used basically on the base material, that would somehow be the way to recreate the look that was already in it. So let's say something really easy, you want Chrome. You have a channel 1 version of the Chrome, you can assign it, it have textures, but the Chrome doesn't look Chrome in game because you change the texture, and because of that it doesn't shine, just doesn't shine. And for now I'm not sure if it's altered by the roughness shift or if it's altered by the normal or the rough metal layer, sorry, not the normal, the rough metal layer here. But that's a thing that might be like tested over like, I don't know, a few days or something to exactly get how to recreate that. But for now, when you're adding a texture, don't expect it to have like the base parameters that the material had. That's it.